And we're live.
We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls all around the world.
And Twitchers all around the world.
All around the world.
Ooh, everybody listen to him.
I really am. Yeah. There you go.
And there you have it.
It's us.
That's us.
It's you and me and him. It's us. They and them and Mike. The two people that
him
run
and
the
her
show.
and Zer and
Zer.
the other 97 prepositions that exist today.
Zer. Happy Friday. I was going to wear my Santa hat and I put it on. I'm like, I look fucking stupid in that, so I'm not wearing it.
Why would you look stupid in a Santa? You don't look stupid in anything.
I did. I look stupid in a Santa hat.
Nah.
That's my applause.
I can't believe that. I remember that from like episode 3.
Hi, Mikey. Everything's going well.
What up, Mike?
We're talking about hookers and blow today, Mikey, so stay tuned. Not really. So how are you, Mike?
I'm doing fantastic, other than I'm a little cold.
I don't feel I ever ask you how you are when we do this. We just kind of dive right in. So
I know, and my feelings get hurt.
I know. So let's talk about Mike Michaels today.
Now I got nothing.
Okay. So did you watch football last night? The Seattle.
What a game, dude.
Dude, if
a game.
If anything tells you the NFL, I don't want to say it's rigged because, again, if it was rigged, Peyton or Eli Manning wouldn't have beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls because that tarnishes Brady's legacy, right, on some level.
Or it might not have been rigged then, and it is now.
Right, but 30-16, the Rams are ahead. Then all of a sudden, Matthew Stafford starts sucking like he's never played football.
Yes.
Gimme field goals are missed. What is always 99% of the time caught is dropped. This is for the Rams side of the ball. And then the Seattle wins it with a field goal in overtime, right? And they win by 1. So that had to have fucked with the spread. It had to have fucked with the over-under. I didn't bet on it. I forgot.
I did. I took the Rams. Steele took the Seahawks in his infinite wisdom. But he never should have won that game, to your point.
No.
I mean, I was happy for him. I'm like, congratulations. But I've never seen, well, I'm not going to say never because the scenario's played out before. It played out in the Packers game back in October. But it's hard to believe, to your point, that a team could play as well as the Rams did for the first 2 quarters of that game. And then literally, I couldn't agree with you more. They came out in the second half, and it's like, did everybody forget how to play football? Did they all take mushrooms while they were in the locker room and they're just kind of like, look at the grass?
Well, and see, the thing that caught my eye is in the fourth quarter, they were up 30-16.
Yeah.
And it was 3 consecutive series where the Rams went 3 and out. And a couple of those series would have extended had the balls not been dropped, and they were good throws. And some of Stafford's throws were so errant, overthrown, underthrown. It's like that one mobster said that because now I think of that every time, right? I don't know if you saw it or not, but there was something on social media where
you
this
told
gangster,
me about it.
Right, let me see if I find it. Where this gangster was talking about some mobster. He's like, if you owe the mob, you're going to pay. Like, that's just it. I don't care how you're going to pay, but you're going to pay. So you're going to either miss a field goal, you're going to overthrow a pass, you're going to underthrow a pass.
First field goal he'd missed all season.
Right? You're going to take a sack. You're going to fumble the ball. You're going to do what we tell you to do until all your debts are paid.
Now, here's what I will tell you.
Yep.
If you watch that kick, he might be the greatest artist in the history of missing a field goal. I mean, how would you do that to make it just, I don't know. If you've kicked a million footballs, I guess you would know how to make it keep drifting to the right, right?
Yep.
Maybe that's not as hard as it seems.
No, it's some weird shit, man. And I don't,
Al Michaels had literally just gotten done saying,
yeah,
he was, or maybe it was the color guy. It doesn't matter. They had literally just gotten done saying he was like 38 for 38 this year or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then everybody and their brother was like, oh, he missed it.
Okay. I found it. I got to get the volume on it. There it is. Okay, let me see if this will work. If I could pull this one off as a screen share, it's pretty cool because this is going to summarize.
Yeah, I'd like to hear this.
Yeah.
Pay. Well, I don't have the money right now. Okay, let me tell you something. I'm a big fan of yours. I love the team. I support the team. You don't have to pay me all at once. Okay, pay me 5 points a week on the 250 in cash every Friday. You bring it here. But what they don't know that I know is that even though we cut them off, they're around town gambling with another bookmaker, thinking they're going to make the money back. So before you know it, they're in debt for 500, 600, 700,000. So now I bring them to me after the interest stops, and they said, "Look, how are you going to pay me back? You got a rich uncle? Go rob a bank. I don't care what you do. Bring me my money. I got another way to work this out. Here's how we're going to do it. Okay, you're a quarterback. Okay, you're favored to win by 10 points. The first 3 times you get the ball, you put it in the hands of the other receiver. Put it in the defensive men's hands. You're a running back. You get the ball, you put it on the ground. First 3 times. You let me worry about the rest. You're going to do this until I tell you, you know, it's a deal. You owe me $250,000. How are you going to pay?"
Amazing, right? That was an actual mobster who actually, bookie, whatever you want to call it, right? Sharing the truth of, if you owe me money, this is what you're going to do. And what does he talk about? If you're a quarterback, what are you going to do?
You're either going to throw interceptions or you're going to do a lot of 3 and outs.
Right.
What happened last night in the fourth quarter? He's one of the most accurate passers in NFL history.
I know.
Not just this year.
Right.
He's one of the most accurate passers that has ever graced the professional football game.
He's going
he
to
was
be
throwing
the
them
MVP.
2 feet above people's heads.
He's going to be the MVP. He's going to be the MVP. That's talk about him this year, because Mahomes had a shitty year. Nobody else is really. Lamar Jackson, shit year. Burrow, shit year. Think about it. What other quarterbacks have stood out? Justin Fields, shit year comparison, right? Barkley, shitty year, shitty fucking year. He got paid. I don't need to do this anymore. You know.
Well, here's a good comparison.
Okay.
That would be like going to a Van Halen concert, and for the first, say it's a 2.5 hour concert, for the first hour, Eddie is the Eddie we all know and love, and then they take a quick little break to do a drum solo, and he comes out and he plays like he's playing a Hello Kitty guitar.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's out of tune. He's hitting the wrong notes. And unfortunately for him, when he was going through some of his horrible years, that actually happened. But
right.
I just heard Sammy tell a tragic story about that reunion tour with him and David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
And that was during Eddie's really bad time. And Sammy tried to get out of it, and they were going to sue him for the rest of the money that they were going to make on that tour. So he said, I powered through the rest of it, but it was so sad to watch, you know. That would be the equivalent.
Elaborate. Share the story.
About why
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, Eddie went through a period where he was all methed up.
Well, I knew that, but I mean, share the story that Sammy shared, because I've never heard this.
It was exactly what I just described. He was hitting bad notes, or they would have a set list, just like you and I would put a set list together.
Yeah.
Imagine if you thought Freeman was coming next and I started playing Listen to Your Sin. That kind of scenario happened. That was the first scenario that Sammy described was they would have a set list and he would literally start playing the wrong song. So like Alex is playing the drum beat to the song that he thought he was supposed to be playing. And when everybody heard the guitar come in, Eddie's completely playing the wrong.
Oh, shit.
And I hate to bash on Eddie again, because I got crucified on YouTube for saying that he sucked in the studio, which is not really what I meant. But
right.
I went through a bad period in my life, too, where I couldn't play a guitar either, you know? If you're messed up on drugs, you think you can play, but you can't.
Yeah.
But it was just heartbreaking to hear Sammy tell the story, because you could see it in his eyes and hear it in his voice. He loved that man.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, and he said when it was good, man. It was better than anything, just like you describe our relationship with writing songs.
Right.
It was the best it had ever been for Sammy. It was just effortless and easy, and the same kind of, you know, scenario that you described, you and I sitting in a room writing. That's how I feel about it too.
Yeah.
So then to have to watch your brother,
right,
who people consider a living legend at the time,
right, still
struggle
do.
and suffer like that. Yeah. Well, now he's not a living legend.
I know what you mean.
Now he's just a legend.
I know what you mean.
But that's my equivalent of what happened in that Rams game last night. Was literally the team that came out in the second half was just not.
Mm-mm.
They didn't even look like a professional football team anymore.
No, and Sean McVay is one of those guys. He has a photographic memory. If you've ever watched him post game, he can tell you.
You don't get to be that good, that young by accident.
No, and he can basically tell you the entire game, play by play, and tell you what happened, each individual snap for what. I mean, it's amazing, the guy's memory and photographically. You ask him a question about, you know, the seventh play on the third drive, you know, and the motion, he can tell you exactly what happened. So the guy's fucking smart as hell. And like, to your point, he was the youngest coach, I think, at the time to make head coach in the NFL. I think he was like 34 or something.
I believe
when he
that's
first started coaching the Rams, right? So there's no way that they come out and suck that bad.
Well,
after
I don't know
halftime.
I don't know if you saw this particular scene, but it was about the third or fourth time that Stafford had thrown the ball so far above the receiver's head. He went to the sideline, and McVay was literally like, you could read his lips. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought him up, because I meant to say that earlier.
Yeah.
There was a scene right there and Stafford just kept walking by him. And McVay's like, what the fuck? And he just kept turning around and Stafford just kept walking.
Yep.
So that makes that video that we just watched, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I know why that video goes through your head when you see scenarios like that. It's a little fishy.
I think it's happening. I think it's happening now more than it ever has, because of all the bullshit we've seen this year with the referees, with certain players and how they're not playing how they normally play. I think it was back up. I never thought that legalizing gambling was going to be productive for the world on the scale that it is now, right? You can go to Vegas and gamble, you can go to Laughlin and gamble, Atlantic City, Jersey gamble, right? But I never thought going grand scale was going to be beneficial to anybody. I never thought putting a team in Vegas, a professional team, was going to work, because I guarantee you there is mob ties, there's gambling, there's shit going on there that people don't realize. And I think because the NFL has embraced gambling, they do it on all their pregame shows. They, you know, he's going to run for this amount. They're totally being bookies. They're totally being, remember the movie, Two for the Money with Matthew McConaughey and Al Pacino, and Matthew McConaughey's right? It's that shit coming to life. And I think the more and more you have inconsistent penalties being called, not being called, and play like Matthew Stafford did last night, more and more people are going to be suspect to what is actually going on. And there's no way to police it, right? You can test for drugs, right? PEDs, but you can't test for gambling. You know, like the one dude from the Dodgers, right? His brother got caught gambling, and nothing happens to the older brother. But what the fuck? Pete Rose gets banned for life until he dies, and then all of a sudden he's reinstated. So I just think there's a whole bunch of shit going on behind the scenes, and I think the NFL is now, like you said, it's an entertainment business, is an entertainment empire, and their ties with gambling is going to make them that much more of a financial windfall on some levels, because I don't think it's too far removed from the whole, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? It's Slim Shady, man. It's Slim Shady.
Your point was so stellar. I had a response in there somewhere and it drifted away.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
But go ahead.
I agree with you in the fact that, I know what I was going to say. We were sitting there one day. It was your point about all the pregame and postgame. Well, pregame for sure. with this ticker across the bottom that shows you, what Mahomes is going to throw for, how many touchdowns Derrick Henry's going to run for,
Right.
what the money line bet is, what the spread is. I don't know. It might have been 3 or 4 years into when it was legalized gambling. That thought hit Steele like a ton of bricks. He was like, look at that, man. Everything they're talking about and everything we're watching, all they're talking about is money, right?
Yep.
Just straight
exactly.
up. Now we're talking straight up gambling on the pregame show.
Yep.
Without really saying it, but if you're reading between the lines 1,000,000%, you just hit the multi-billion-dollar question.
If not more.
Does that affect the game?
It does affect the game because people are gonna get, because I didn't bet on anything last night or this week, and I totally forgot. I could still do Sunday, but I didn't. So I watched the Seattle game for about the first 5 minutes, and then Nick and I watched a documentary, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. And then I went back to rapid highlights, and then I catch it up like with 12 minutes, 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So I didn't see the whole game itself, but I could tell from what I saw initially to where I came in and how Matthew Stafford was just straight up being like, dude, who are you? Like,
he was as accurate as he is in any other game in the first half. I saw from 10 minutes in the first quarter through the rest of the game.
Yeah.
He was like threading the needle. That's how they scored all those points, right? They only kicked, I think, 2 field goals in the first half. The rest of them were obviously all touchdowns. That's how they ended up with 30 points.
The other things that stand out too, Nakua, hell of a fucking receiver, right? Hell of an athlete. That dude is just money. He had a career game, but then he does some stupid unsportsmanlike penalty comp. Like, really?
Here was the turning point in the game, and I think you might have missed this, but did you see when the Seahawks, you said you started in the fourth quarter, right?
I saw the 2-point conversion thing.
Okay, but you didn't see the interception when Seattle was getting ready to score.
Yeah, I saw that. Right on the big guy, right?
Yeah, that was the turning point in the game.
Yeah.
When that interception happened and they went 3 and out, the Rams were a different team from that point forward.
Yeah.
That literally was the turning point in the game. I was like, Seattle's getting ready to score. I'm on the money line with the Rams because they were actually an underdog in that game. They were getting
and they should have been
point and
Seattle.
a half. Yeah. Because Seattle's at home. So I'm like, I'll take arguably the best offense this year at plus money, right?
Yeah.
At that point, when they went 3 and out, all of a sudden, everything we just described for the last 10 minutes unfolded.
Yeah.
He couldn't hit a receiver. You had the stupid unsportsmanlike penalty conduct. The defense quit. Where was that's the other conversation we haven't had. Where is the Rams defense that was in the first half that held Seattle to what? 6 points? How many did they have in the was
6
it
points.
6 or 10 or whatever?
Yeah. I don't know. That's the things that's gonna be the cloud that hangs over the NFL now because they're allowing gambling to be so prevalent in everything.
Well, I've been saying it over and over again. It's turning into the WWE. And if that's what it's going to become, that's fine because the WWE actually makes more money than any other sport on earth. So it's not like it's not successful, but let's call it what it is, right?
Right.
If we're not playing a legitimate game anymore, let's let everybody know about it.
Right. So there was a hot mic on a game.
I love those.
Okay, hold on.
It's always nice to know what people are really saying and how they really feel.
Right. Okay. We're going to share. I wanted to make sure I found the right one because when I hit hot mic, about 15 different racial ones came up, and I'm not doing any racial crap.
Yeah, no need for that.
So let me know if you can hear this.
We'll have Super Bowl 60 on February 8th at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Then it will be our honor at ESPN and ABC to bring you Super Bowl 61 on Valentine's Day 2027 right here at SoFi in Inglewood. And the other one we know will be Super Bowl 62, February of 2028 in Atlanta. You can be my date on Valentine's Day. Yes. Here's Vidal up to the 25, a 16-yard return. We'll be honored to be here in this great stadium that is in its sixth year. Have you seen the script? Do you know who's going to play in that one? Yeah, I saw it. No. Okay.
Okay. So the boys and girls, we're going to do that again. This is my favorite Troy Aikman, Joe Buck. Sarcasm, hate them both. Can't stand listening to them, which is why I watch Manning Cast.
Me too.
Okay. Wait, missed it here. You can hear this, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Why do I keep missing it? Come on.
It happened. Right.
Have you seen the script?
Joe Buck asked Aitzman, have you seen the script?
Did you see the script?
Do you know who's going to play in that one? And Aikman says, yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, this shit isn't made up. This is accidentally caught. And
Go
the
back
fact
a
that
little
nobody's and the fact that nobody's really talking about this blows my mind.
There you go.
Have you seen the script? Do you know who's going to play in that one? Yeah, I saw it. No.
Mind-boggling.
There's another one, and I'm not sure how you would Google it, but I remember right before the Super Bowl last year, there was this conspiracy that said they start showing the colors of the teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl long before the playoffs are over.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to put that subliminal message in your head through the commercials.
Right.
The Eagles, was it the Eagles and the Chiefs last year?
Yes.
Those colors were all over before the playoffs had even finished up.
Wow.
I was following this guy's channel, and that was his whole conspiracy was, you already know who's going to be in the Super Bowl because they got the colors in the commercial.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's, and see, here's the thing, man. If this is legit, like, let's just call it legit. Let's say this is really happening on the NFL. You're going to lose. Like, I loved watching football, like legit. It was, on a Sunday, I'm at home all day watching football. I have all the
through
games
the
on
90s,
TV.
man. We
Right.
used to have parties, just football parties and shit.
Right.
Loved it.
Right. And where this is going now, it's mind boggling because it's taking away the joy of watching the game. Right, because you don't know if you go back to the Super Bowl where the Patriots are losing to the Falcons. What was it like 28-3?
Well, like the biggest comeback in NFL history. Yeah,
but I don't think the scripting began back then. I mean, that's the game that actually I found the respect for Tom Brady that he deserves as a player, because he completely changed and Belichick. They completely changed their approach to the game. He dink and dunked all the way down the field. It was 2 yards. Yep. It was 3 yards. It was 4 yards. There was nothing over the middle because of the defense the Falcons were playing. Everything was on the outside, swing passes, screens passes, bubble sweeps, all that kind of shit. So there was nothing that was a threat. And most of the NFL teams will give you 5 yards in front of us, because they're betting on the fact that out of those 3 plays you need to get a first down, you can get
they're
2 or 3,
one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a stop at some point in time. I think that was the last true legitimate comeback without anything funny going on.
Well, right? I don't know when gambling started for you guys in Arizona, but it was 2016 here. So if you want a timeline, let's just say that legalized gambling became prominent right around 2010 for the United States. Because Illinois probably didn't adopt it first. We're usually way behind. So let's say somewhere around 2010, 2015, gambling started to creep in. So what year is that game you're talking about? That would have been what? The Falcons and
Patriots.
Let's see what year that was. I'm kind of curious what the timeline is.
2017.
So, well, maybe we were early adopters, because I don't feel like back then I felt like I was getting screwed as much, or there was
Right.
as much evidence to point to say, yeah, there could be some funny business. We just gave everybody 15 minutes of examples of things that are potentially, we're not saying that that's what's going on,
No.
but it sure looks funny to two guys who have been watching football since we were
10 years
probably
old, 7 years old. 8
yeah,
years
we
old.
remember right around 10 years old. So we'll say 1983 for you
80,
to be like
1980.
80.
Yep.
For Steele, it goes back to the 60s to when he can remember, like 1960.
Yeah, like Monday Night Football's been around since started when you and I were basically 3 and 6 years old.
Early
Like,
1970s, right?
Yeah, it was
Mid 1970s.
Yeah. So Sunday Night Football's been around, just hit their 20th year. So these are things that I've grown up with, that you've grown up with, that a lot of people have grown up watching, and you cannot deny there's a major difference now in how the game's officiated and how the
Well,
game's
what Super Bowl are we on? 53?
I don't fucking, well, whatever that
I think
video
the
just
Super
said.
Bowl is the same age as you, is gonna be my point.
Oh, okay.
That's how many Super Bowls there are. It's not that old.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people think the Super Bowl's been around forever because they don't pay attention to the fact that there's a number behind it.
Right. Yeah. I just, it's mind-boggling to me that they're changing the game. And by changing the game, you're turning it into Al Pacino's movie Any Given Sunday. You're going to end up seeing a running back run into the end zone, pull out a gun from his pants, and blow his head off because he's so knee deep into the mobster and the mafia for gambling that he can't see the end of the tunnel.
Agreed. And here's
That's where we're
here's a
going.
good equivalent is I used to love the NBA too.
Yeah.
I don't like what the NBA became. It's a different game than the one that I liked, right? I like the actual
agreed,
game of
100%.
basketball where defense ruled the day, and driving to the basket was the initial goal, and kicking it back out for a three-pointer was a secondary thing, right?
Right.
Now, if you watch an NBA game, all they do for 40 minutes is chuck up threes and rebound and run to the other end and chuck up a three. I just don't. If you like that game, that's great. That it's successful. They're making a lot of money. Somebody likes it. I'm just not that guy. I think that's what the NFL is turning into. They're gonna ruin the game for those of us who actually like to watch what we consider legitimate football.
Right. And the fact that you can't hit anybody now without a flag is ridiculous. The fact that, there's certain quarterbacks that can be leveled and nothing's thrown. Certain quarterbacks can be, flicked and 5 flags get dropped.
Well, and that's a great example. There's another way that the officials can wholeheartedly influence the outcome of the game simply by the fact that you see, how many times are you watching a game and there's all these, like Troy said on his episode, where that guy made fun of him because, he couldn't find his keys. It's like, well, you can't find your keys like you can't find your flag. They were holding us the whole game.
Right.
You're watching these things happen and you see no flags. And then to your point, a guy, hits him with his hangnail. And it's like, oh, pass interference or roughing the passer.
Right. Or when you see helmet completely turn around on a guy's head with his head staying still, you don't call a flag for face mask.
Face mask.
And there's 7 officials on the field. It's not like there's just 3.
Right.
Like when we started watching football, there was 3. There was the referee, there was a line judge, back judge. That was it.
Yep.
You didn't have, and then you have, by the way, I think, 10 officials in the stands, random spots, because they have this new thing they're doing. Plus, then you have all the cameras on every game is just insane. Then you have all the cell phone. Right. Right. So they're really, because of instant replay and all that kind of shit, and because the referees now huddle before they call a play, because a play will be done and somebody will be complaining, and then all of a sudden he yells at a referee, so then the referees huddle. Oh yeah, our bad. We missed that, but here's a flag. You can't do that. You just something needs to change. Something needs to change in the NFL level when it comes to officiating. It's like across the board. Like it's just like the taunting shit. Are you serious? That's a taunt.
We're
like,
grown men.
Fucking five? That's a taunt.
We're
I get
grown
this.
fucking men
I
playing
get the
a
penalties
game
for
where
this.
we're smashing into each other at like 20 miles an hour impact.
Yep. It's all
And if
about,
I look at you funny, then I get a
Mhm.
penalty, right?
Right, it's bullshit. I get the penalties for this when they go pew, pew, because, you know, I think that's cheesy, but I get it.
Yeah.
You're not unless you're Ray Lewis, or Michael Irvin, you're not out there shooting for real, you know, or Aaron Hernandez. I mean, those guys really shot, but you know.
And here's the other thing. You're the cornerback, I'm the receiver. For 3 quarters, I've been going, you can't catch me, motherfucker.
Right.
You ain't shit.
Yep.
Oh, I burned you again.
Yep.
Man, you're slow. And then all of a sudden you lay me out. You
Right.
have every right to stand over me and go, got you that time, didn't I?
Yep.
Right?
And boom, flag.
Yeah.
But where's the flag when you're smack talking me for the first 3 quarters?
And that's one thing I'm guilty of not thinking about until it was either Peyton or Eli said it. One of those Monday nights, you know, like, oh, come on, man. You don't know what's been going on for 3 quarters. That guy's probably been going just all the things.
I remember that. I remember that.
You ain't shit, you know.
And that's the hand fighting shit too. They let you. I was watching one game this weekend, and the hand fighting was ridiculous, all the way up to where the receiver kind of hand fought 20 yards down the field with the defender, and then kind of pushes away and catches the ball. If that shit happens in the last 2 minutes of the game, that's a penalty across the board.
Agreed, and that's ridiculous too.
Yeah. If you're gonna let
38 minutes, it's okay, but that last 2 minutes can't happen.
Yep, it's fucking ridiculous. So that's football. Let's get out of football. Let's go to documentaries.
Yeah, what'd you watch?
I watched Have You Seen Me Lately, which is the documentary of the Counting Crows.
Oh,
it just dropped last night on HBO Max.
I'll watch that tonight.
So here's what's really cool. Everybody knows Mr. Jones, okay? So August and Everything After, the story, I want you to watch the documentary. It's a great album. So the story behind it, without giving things away, is they kind of pulled a Candlebox, right? They rehearsed forever, blah, blah, blah. Candlebox plays the show.
You can give it away. It's a documentary.
Okay.
They live their life.
This is true. This is true. So Adam puts this band together. It's his band. Everything goes through Adam. He basically, it's a whirlwind. They do an EP that sounds like an actual album, and one of the bandmates has a 16-track studio. They run into somebody's lawyer, and the lawyer's like, "Oh, I'm gonna, you know, get me something." So he takes the tape. Adam sends this lawyer the tape. Guy's like off the hook, like, "Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me." It's 14 songs. You're only supposed to have 3 songs that you send to a label. There's 14 songs, which ended up being every single song on August and Everything After. Guy gets it to a label, Geffen, I think it was, and they're thinking there's no way in hell Geffen's gonna pursue these guys. About 30 seconds into when the guy had the tape, he calls them up. He's like, "Yes." So one of the unique things I didn't know about the music industry back then is, so the Geffen people, they made copies of the tape and they kicked it all around the office. So that was kind of like you go to work and you play music, right? So you're Geffen, I guess you come in the front door, you know, lobby, whatever, and here's a barrage of cassette tapes from bands that have been sent in. So you grab a tape and you put it in.
So they
play
use the staff as a
kind of part of. That's what I got
barometer.
Out of it. That's what I got out of it. Yeah,
that's cool.
But then they end up sending tapes to all the other labels as well. So all the other labels are doing the same thing, and what ends up happening, according to the documentary, is their August and Everything After becomes a soundtrack for the labels. So a bidding war begins. So they ended up signing with Geffen for a higher
bidding war to the people that are listening that don't understand the music business.
A bidding war is you have 5 different labels, and whoever's going to give you the best terms and conditions possible, you're going to go with.
That is the best scenario a band. That's a dream scenario for a band,
right.
As people are fighting after you.
Right. So the interesting thing that Adam says, we went with Geffen because they gave us a higher percentage of royalties, and we retained the rights to our music. Brilliant. We left a lot of money on the table.
Upfront money on the table.
Right. A lot of money on the table.
The back end.
Yeah. And I don't know how much, I don't know how they're split, because he writes everything, the words and music. And
then he probably
gets
upwards of 70% of the money.
Yeah. So when you watch the documentary, the bandmates, like Charlie guitars. He's like, man, I'm a little league coach and I play in a famous band. That literally is what he said.
Because he was
And they all-
basically a hired gun at that point.
Right. And they all just kind of, Adam does this thing, you know, and rightfully so. August Everything After came out the gates 7 million copies. Recovering the Satellites came out the gates 2 million copies. So it was considered a failure. The interesting thing about
Isn't that crazy? Back then, it was a failure.
Right. So Saturday Night Live comes calling and they tell them they can play Round Here. This is when I was introduced to Counting Crows. They
Me
can
too.
play Round Here first and Mr. Jones second. Well, when they get to the show, they're like, nah, fuck you. You're not doing that. You're going to cut a minute off each song and you're going to play Mr. Jones first and that's it. And Adam's like, no. And they're like, well, no, yeah, you have to because this is TV and TV changes. And Adam's like, no, we'll just leave. We'll just walk away. We'll be the band that leaves Saturday Night Live and just leave you completely hanging. So the chick that booked them, their first song they do is Round Here. And if you haven't seen that version of Round Here, Google it on YouTube. Counting Crows. They've never played SNL again because they were defiant, kind of like the Doors were when it was on the Ed Sullivan
So I'm
show.
sure Lorne Michaels blackballed him.
It wasn't Lorne Michaels, it was some other chick that books them. Like she saw them somewhere
Oh.
and she booked them.
I'm sure they have a musical director.
Sure. I forget her name. She's in the documentary. That version Around Here is just fucking amazing.
That's the
Like,
first time I ever saw him.
Yeah.
Because I used to
That's-
watch
that-
Saturday Night Live every
Mhm, mhm.
Saturday back then.
Yeah, when it was good. And then ironically enough, when Nemesis was going on, I'm going to say probably 98% of the time, August and Everything After, Dizzy Up the Girl, fuck, I can't remember the third album, but there was 3 albums I always listened to, and those were the muse. Those are the vehicles to get my creative juices flowing.
Great
And-
song.
and-
Talk
and
about
how I-
great songwriters, man.
Right. And it was all in the background when I would write lyrics.
Real quick fact: a lot of people
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
that the bass player wrote most of those songs in the Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah. 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 Johnny Resnick was lyrics, but
Actually, the bass player wrote a lot of those lyrics too.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he was the primary songwriter in the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay. I did not know that.
I didn't
I
either.
always thought
for
it
a
was
long time.
Resnick.
Well, of course, everybody always thinks that the front man writes everything.
Unless you're Rush and it's Neil Peart. you
But
know.
people don't know that. They think
No.
it's the guy standing out front, right?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
It's just the person you relate to in the band, you think always is the primary songwriter unless you're in the business and you know.
Right. So the interesting thing about Mr. Jones is basically, it came out during grunge. Okay, so this was the cool thing. Grunge took over the world, then Counting Crows come out with Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones is basically, if you've never listened to the lyrics, to summarize it, it's a guy who wants to be a rock star, and the whole song's about becoming a rock star in an era where the anti-music movement was grunge. We don't want to be rock stars. We don't want to be successful. We don't want to make it to the top. Like, said no musician ever. I don't care who you are. No musician steps on a stage with the intent of being poor for the rest of their life.
Except
So-
maybe for real Kurt Cobain.
I'm going to agree with you a little bit, but not wholeheartedly, because
I didn't know him, obviously. I'm just
No, but
going
you
from
don't-
hundreds of hours of listening to people that knew him that said
Yeah.
that of all people they ever met, fame is actually probably what killed him.
I probably, but I just, to me, you don't step on that stage.
I'm not disagreeing with you. On
Yeah,
any
unless
level.
you plan, because your goal.
I had
has
my
to be-
reasons for getting up there
Right.
too, right? I didn't want to
Right.
work a real job and I wanted to
Right.
get paid to see the world. Those were my
Right.
2 motivations to get
Yeah.
up there financially. Is
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to get a real job,
Right.
quote unquote, because
Right.
playing music is probably harder than any real job you'll ever have anyway.
They talk about that in the documentary too.
And I wanted to get paid to see the world, oddly enough, because I loved
Mhm.
geography when I was in school. You know, I'm like, there's a whole world out there that I'm never
Yeah.
going to see.
Yeah.
And that bothered me somehow. So I'm like, you know, if we sell enough records, we're going to see that world.
Right. Yeah.
So I agree with you. I've heard enough hours that
Okay.
I honestly think that he might be one of the few exceptions that was an anti-hero for real.
Okay. I'll give you that. I didn't know that about it. Now, ironically enough, him and Duritz were friends. Him and Adam were really good friends, which kind of like, wow, okay. So when Adam got the call that he died, that fucked him up.
Oh, real quick story that you'll
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
that I just heard
Yeah.
about Nirvana.
Okay.
They had an opening female, I think it doesn't matter, but I believe they were an all-female band. And I'm pretty sure they were playing in Canada.
Okay. Hey.
And don't even say that. But anyway, this part of the story is true. In that there was a gig where the audience dissed the opening band, and it pissed Kurt Cobain off so bad that he went up there, wouldn't play any of the hits except for Smells Like Teen Spirit, and there's a video of him playing it so badly. So he just
Wow.
basically ruined the show for the
Okay.
audience because they were assholes to his opening act.
Okay, so correlation that you Adam Dirt's same way, because everybody that opened for the Counting Crows those first 3 years on the road were people they knew. They were playing some show. This is from somebody who knew him. She was the manager of the Viper Room, which ironically enough, for about a year and a half, Adam Duritz was the bartender at the Viper
That's
Room.
right. I have heard that story.
Like he legit. It's you just got to watch the documentary. It's fascinating.
I've heard a lot of these stories because I'm a big Counting Crows fan. Too.
Yeah. So he was so pissed off at the crowd how they treated his opening act, which was one of his friends, that he played 4 songs and left. That was it.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you the most boss move, and whatever you think about them now,
Mhm.
Metallica, their fans were so rabid that they eventually just had to not have an opening
Stop.
act.
Right. Yeah.
Because they felt sorry for it's like
Well, no, but they had to, because you can't. How do you open for Metallica?
you can't. Ozzy had to kick him off the tour because they were out on their Master of Puppets. I don't think he kicked him off. He just never invited him back. But
Right.
even Ozzy said, how the fuck do you follow that?
Yeah. So
You can't.
no. So squirrel moment. I get a text right before the show. I thought it was the artist that was supposed to be on here, and they didn't show up. So this is the text I get. Okay. See it?
Yes. I can't see
So
what
it says, "Hi, is everything all right?" And I assume because maybe they didn't get the link or something, right? I'm like,
Sure.
"Who's this?" "Hi, I'm Candace. We might have met before. Do you remember me?" I reply, "We didn't. Bye." What does Candace do? She sends me a picture and asks, "Isn't this Andy's number?" No.
Now, if I were you,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, tell me what to say.
I'm a little frisky and
Yeah.
I don't have
Well,
anybody else here to keep
yeah,
me
yeah.
entertained, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is Andy. What can I do for you?"
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't need that kind of stress in your life.
No, I'm going to send him your number. What's your number?
No, don't do that.
And we'll 703 867 5309. See what she says to that. Stupid people, man. Okay, so the reason why I brought up the whole Counting Crows thing, Mr. Jones, as I said, is about wanting to become a rock star in an era where you were supposed to be anti-rock star. So 3 years, I mean, really, they went from nothing to the fact that some of the band members told their jobs, "Hey, I'm going to be back in 4 months. I'm going to go record this album, maybe do a little bit of tour. I'm coming back in 4 months. So save my office, save my job, and then 3 years later, right?
Yeah,
I mean, 3
nobody
years later.
expects that to happen.
Nobody,
No matter what they say.
nobody at all. Like this is not what they thought would happen. They went overseas, in fact, and came back from overseas, and Adam went out, I forget where he was at, to go for a walk, and literally, he got mobbed. You would think John Lennon walked in this Times Square and everybody saw John Lennon and wants to just
Oh, during that time period, the Counting Crows were the biggest band on the planet.
right. He got chased down. He went to a movie theater. Some guy came in the movie theater. It was empty. Some guy came in the movie theater and sat next to him. He's like, "Can I sit here?" And Adam's like, "Man, I'm just trying to be me, man. I'm just trying to sit back and watch the movie." So the guy's like, okay. He leaves. About 20 minutes later, the usher comes in. He's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, guy's been on the phone for about 30 minutes calling everybody he knows, and there's about 200-300 people out front." And Adam's like, "You're fucking kidding me." He's like, "Look, there's a way to get out right here. Go out the back." And so Adam gets up, sneaks out the back, starts walking. And he says a couple minutes into the walk, he hears the ushers screaming, "Run." He turns around and look, and shit you not, there's a crowd of people like the Beatles just invaded the United States, chasing Adam Duritz to his hotel. I'm like, what fucking world do we live in?
Well,
even back then,
it's funny you present that scenario because a couple times in the last 3 weeks, the Live at the Ritz Guns N' Roses performance has come up in conversations that I've had with different people. So I went back and watched it. And my first thought was exactly what you're just describing. I'm looking at those guys on that stage, and they're playing the Ritz, for the people that don't know, is a nightclub in New York City. And MTV filmed Guns N' Roses there in, I believe, 1987 or 1988, right around the time Appetite was coming out.
Right.
And the people are right next to the stage, and Axl's giving them, slapping them high five. And to your point, in about 6 or 8 months, they're not going to be able to go anywhere without bodyguards. And that was my first thought. You're not going to be able to stand on a stage like that close to people in about 8 months, and you don't know that yet.
No, you don't.
That's one of the best performances by them in the history of Guns N' Roses. If you haven't seen it, go to the Google machine and type in Guns N' Roses Live at the Ritz. Yeah. It's a life-changing performance. It just is.
No, and yeah. So when Recovering Satellites come out, he writes a song called "Have You Seen Me Lately?" And the irony of the song, because most people don't listen to lyrics like I do. Like, I'm lyrically driven,
of course,
right? Because there's a story. You're telling a story, and the cool thing about "Have You Seen Me Lately" is legit. Get away from me. Just get away from me. This ain't gonna be easy, but I don't need you. Believe me. This is his reaction to the 3 years of absolute utter chaos where he couldn't walk to a corner store without being bothered. Now, granted, he's a white dude with dreadlocks. That's part of the problem because he sticks out like sore thumb.
Sure.
Yeah, you got a piece of me, but it's just a little piece of me, and I don't need anyone. And these days, I feel like I'm fading away, like sometimes when I hear myself on the radio. Have you seen me lately? Have you seen me lately? Because I was out on the radio starting to change. Somewhere in America it's starting to rain. Could you tell me one thing you remember about me, and have you seen me lately? So the really cool thing about it, bookends it. So you have Mr. Jones, which is all about becoming these superstars. Everybody wants to be a superstar, right? And then you have You Seen Me Lately, which is the polar opposite. Like, look what's happened to me by becoming a superstar. And then to date, I think they have 12 albums. So August sold 7 million, Recovering Satellites sold 2 million. The rest of the catalog with those two albums combined have only done 25 million. So they really hit the gate with August and everything after, and just kind of went down and just, they call it a sophomore slump, even though 2 million records. But they never hit that same success with August and everything after, which, let's face it, most artists don't.
Well, it's funny that, so here's another parallel subject that I was talking about with the guy I was training at work on Wednesday. The second Candlebox album, when Mike from Monkey House said, when he was talking to Kevin Martin, and Kevin Martin was like, I hate that album.
Right.
That bothered me ever since, because I want to get to the root of what could it be. And I think that's it. I think that they had so much time to make that debut album perfect, and it is fucking perfect.
Yep.
That I almost venture to guess that they were rushed to do that second album. And in my opinion, it's a banger. But the production quality is not nearly as good as the first album. So it's almost like it was rushed.
Well, the funny thing about the production, so when they did their EP,
do you agree with that statement, though, that the production quality is not like the audio when you're listening to it? It's just not as good.
It's not. It's different. And it's different for lots of different reasons, right? You, as like Nemesis, right? We had enough original material. We probably had 30 songs, so we could have filled 3 albums easy. Then they all would have been, if the first
30
one
good songs,
right? So if the debut would have been successful, then the sophomore and the follow up to that would have been just as successful on some level, because the contents was the same, the music was the same, the style was the same. Lyrically, these were songs I wrote, my entire life. So it wasn't like I was going to be lacking for material.
We were growing, man. We went from Free Man to Intervention Divine.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. But it was all 30 of our songs could have totally been spread out over 3 albums, and they all could have stood that test of time. Right? It wasn't, we wouldn't have had a sophomore slump. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, I don't know that, but
But I think in their case, their songs were equally as good, if not better, but they didn't get showcased sonically the way they should have.
Well, he changed. He in the documentary he talks about it. He completely changed recovering the satellites. He wanted it to be more in-your-face, hard-driving rock and roll. He didn't want to be the folk pop rock that August was.
Okay.
So when they did the EP for August and everything after, it was in Charlie's home studio. The EP sounded like a full-fledged recorded album according to the label and stuff. Like, so they had to get him in the studio. Now, when we get you in the studio, this is where Adam comes into play with his weirdness. All of a sudden, he decided everybody had to change what they did. So Charlie, you're not, or whoever, maybe it was, I forget, Dan's his keyboardist. Dan, you're not playing synthesizers anymore. You're just playing this and that. You're just playing piano organ. We're going to dumb it down. You're not going to use a fretless bass anymore, fretless bass anymore. You're going to buy this one and use it. You're not going to play that guitar. You're going to play this guitar. So Adam completely took control over everything, and he didn't know how to explain it. So in August and everything after, it was grueling in the studio because all of a sudden he went from, you made this really cool EP with friends in somebody's home studio. Now you're at this label and you have to make a debut album that sounds like an EP, were the exact words of the producer.
And all of a sudden
So-
your bandmates walk in
Are like,
and
what the
now all of a
fuck?
sudden Chris is like, here's how I want my song to sound,
Right.
when everything before that was, it's our band.
It's perfect.
And yeah,
Exactly.
that
So
would be horrible.
right. So then you have 3 years of massive success. And then he comes, so he spends a year and a half working at the Viper Room and living a different life. Like, he went to Kate Moss's 25th birthday party and he's like, I'm in a room with every single top supermodel at the time. Oh, by the way, there's Tom Petty. Oh, by the way, there's Johnny Depp. And all these people are just hanging out and just being their peers. They're successful peers, but there's no, hey, you're that guy from Counting Crows. Right? It was just, you're getting an Amstel Light from a bartender. So he lives this whole new life. And so he was super happy. Beginning in the documentary, he talks about the fact how he looked in the mirror and he didn't like who he saw. He didn't understand who he saw. It wasn't himself looking back at him, like really weird, fucked up shit. So during the August and everything after adventure, one morning he wakes up before they hit it big, and you'll relate to this. He felt like he was on acid. Like, he just woke up and actually, no, he drank a glass of water. He drank an entire glass of water and put the glass down. And then all of a sudden he felt like it was on acid. Adam Durst doesn't do drugs. He barely drinks. He has mental health issues. But he felt like he was on acid. That lasted for a year and a half before he realized, I have to figure out how to get my mind right because there's something wrong with me. I don't remember what the diagnosis is, but it's insane. So he struggled with that during those first 3 years. And then the dissociative personality part of it is why he ended up being the bartender in the Viper Room, because Johnny Depp and the other owner of the Viper Room invited him, hey, come over, we got your room at the Bellagio behind, or whatever the Bell, I don't fucking know, whatever the hotel was behind Viper Room. They're like, get out of the house that you're in, sneak out, come here, we got your room, you can just come hang out with us. And that's what he did. And
Well,
then
I
he
feel
bought a house.
I
Yeah,
honestly
go
feel that's what happened to Chris Cornell too. That's a very parallel story.
Yeah.
You take a person with mental health issues
Mm-hmm.
and then you drop them into fame
Mm-hmm.
where they're under a microscope and a spotlight every day of their
Everything.
life.
Yeah.
And neither one of those guys, for the longest time, it sounds like, even knew they had a mental health problem, right?
Right.
They were just like, man, I'm struggling through life and I don't know why.
Yep.
Luckily for Adam, he figured it out. And Chris did later on too, but I think he was abusing the fuck out of those antidepressants from what his girlfriend was saying at the time,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
wife. I don't know if he was married. I know he had a significant other and he had kids, but I think fame compounded upon that mental health problem is just, you're talking like a TNT explosion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's what you just described from what he described in the documentary is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It's
I'm living a
interesting.
parody of myself every day.
Mhm.
I have to be
Yeah.
this person that I never wanted to be in the first place.
Right. And that's where the dreadlocks came in, because then he started going dreadlocks and he says he finally felt like himself. And he's like, for 27 years, I ran with that. And then now he's got this chick in his life and she's the one, she like said it. She was on the camera. She's like, you know, I love your smile. I love your eyes, but I got to move the dreadlocks away to see the face. She's like, you know, and people like Nikki hates the fact that he doesn't have dreads anymore. Like, just hates it. Like, cause that's,
Well, you just said it, 27 years.
Yeah.
That's what we saw from
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah, that's the look. Hold on 1 second.
Absolutely. We're holding on 1 second, folks. So this would be a good time to tell you, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go out and subscribe to the YouTube channel because it's awesome.
So I've seen Counting Crows, because it's Nikki's favorite band, probably 10 times. So
I've only seen them once, but they were great.
that's us in the front row. And shit you not, Adam, that's Nikki's back of her head. That entire song, Adam was basically singing and pointing to her. So at one
That's
point in time, I finally just pulled my camera out and made a video. And then I screenshot this from the video.
That's a great picture, man.
Because it was just, I mean, it was fucking cool, man. He's just, and if you've never seen the Counting Crows, what's cool about them, number one, don't expect it to sound like the album, which is frustrating. But he tells stories. He explains the stories behind the songs.
I did like that part of the show.
So, and he still does that. So if you truly embrace the storytelling aspect of music, depending on his mood, depending on where he's at in his cycle, because it varies. We've seen shows where he's just fucking out there, perfect, like spot on, amazing. Wow. And we've seen shows where, yeah, okay, he was having a bad day.
The one thing that disappoints me about them a little bit is I put them in the same category as Mellencamp. If you saw Mellencamp back when you and I did,
yep,
he was still kicking ass and full of piss and vinegar.
Yep.
And then he decided he was an artist, right?
Yep.
And things go wrong when people realize that they're actually an artist, which is why I've never, simply put, I stay humble, right?
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I can do what I can do, and that when I play my instrument, people seem to appreciate it. I always just stop there, because things go horribly wrong. And to your point, that's when you start reinterpreting your song to the point where it's not so much fun for the audience, right?
Right.
I've talked multiple people out of going to see Mellencamp, because I'm like, I know what you expect. You expect what you and I experienced.
Right.
You're not going
getting
to see
anymore.
that now.
No, he's too, he went the wrong way. He's just,
that's a great way of putting it.
He's just, I mean, and
You've gone the wrong way, John.
And I love Mellencamp. I mean, by all means, too. I mean, just loved the man. And
he's an American treasure.
He is.
But he knows it.
But he ruined it. He ruined it. It's kind of like Bruce Springsteen. You don't fucking produce and get behind a movie about yourself while you're still alive. Like, can you be any more of a narcissist? Number one,
there's three people off the top of my head, real quick. Sorry.
Right.
Springsteen, Mellencamp, and I'm going to really piss people off, fucking Bob Dylan.
Yep.
We know you're great.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
You don't need it. Right. You don't need a movie about you while you're alive to know you're great.
Thank you.
You just don't. Like, there's a reason why the Doors didn't come out till decades after Morrison died.
And
right?
we are in no way dissing on their music. I love the boss.
No, not at all.
He became the boss for a reason. I love Bob Dylan. He's one of the greatest songwriters in the history of the world. Hate his voice.
Mama's in the basement.
You don't
take it back
get
to medicine.
say,
right. Yeah, you don't.
You don't get to say you are a living legend.
Right.
That's not how it works.
It does not work that way.
I get to tell you that
way.
Right?
Right. There's a difference between behind the scene documentaries like the Counting Crows just did, because it's not saying we're the shit. It's saying this is an awareness part of it. Understand mental illness. Understand what happens when you reach this level of fame. Understand these type of things. I didn't look at that as I didn't look at it as self-serving as all. When the U2 came out with Rattle and Hum, there's a lot of backlash with that, because everybody's like, who the fuck are you? Right. But Rattle and Hum captured the height of their fame and their draw and their power as musicians.
Well,
and took them to a whole new level.
Here's a good simple analogy. If I say that you're one of the best singers that I ever graced a stage with, everybody's like, wow, man, that dude's awesome. But if you come on here every week and say, I was one of the greatest singers that you ever got to play with, now you're a douchebag, right?
True.
It's that simple.
It's true, Mike. Yeah. You should really just thank me every day when you wake up, Mike.
You actually are the best singer that I ever graced the stage with by a landslide.
Well, and
But I can't come on here and say that I'm the best
Right.
guitar player that you ever got to play. Hey, man, you're lucky you got to
Yeah.
play with me for 10 years, you know?
But actually,
Now
but
I'm
I
a
am lucky
douchebag.
that I got to play with you. And I will say, not to boost, play massage egos, but really, I mean, I did get to play on stage with Ray Stone, right? But that was one song, and Ray was a great guitar player, but Ray helped you become a great guitar player.
Ray is one of the greatest guitar players I ever got to play with, too.
And Charles, I have to be careful how I word this. Charles, in the last band I was ever in, he was a very good instrumentalist. And that's where I'll leave that. He wasn't a great guitar player. He thought he was. He was a great composer. He thought he was. And he was never humble. He was very egotistical. He thought he was Eddie Van Halen, and he was not anywhere close to him. The reason why that band kind of worked was because of Josh and Jesse. And we all kind of tolerated him.
And you?
Right. Everybody has got to tolerate me because I'm the singer. So the difference between every band I've been in and Nemesis was what we've talked about many, many times. It was the collective. We were naive. We were young. We were stupid. We didn't know what to expect. We knew we loved music. We knew we loved writing music. We knew we loved playing music. We knew we loved being in front of people and sharing that love and passion. And it was a very slow rise locally, so we could enjoy it, right? It was embraced, whereas I think some bands like Counting Crows.
I would say the smartest thing we needed, the smartest thing that we did, whether it was consciously or unconsciously, is we were smart enough to know we needed each other.
Yeah.
The last scenario that you described, I like to call those people, they have the potential to be great at a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But they're in their own way. So you have the potential to be great at a lot of things, but you're never going to be that way because you don't realize what we realized, either consciously or unconsciously, that I'm not the singer, so I can't just keep being a dick to you or you're going to leave, right? We had to figure out how to work together as a unit, even when we were not pissed at each other, but when tensions would get high, and that would happen.
Yeah.
When you sit and play the same song 25 times in a row and it's still not right, tensions are going to get a little testy, right?
Yep, exactly.
It's just human nature. But we were smart enough to never cross that boundary of pissing someone off to the point where they're going to leave.
Right. Nikki says hi,
Rick
by the
did
way.
describe the scenario where Scott made him cry one time, but I had forgotten about that till he brought that up.
Yeah.
We didn't know Rick was that fragile back then.
I don't know if you heard me or not, but Nikki says hi. She asked me what I was doing.
Oh, tell Nikki I said hi.
And I took a screenshot of us, and that's what you're doing. So the Candace story, okay? The Candace person that messaged me, right, earlier in the show?
Yes. Update.
I gave her Andy's number, which 793-867-5309. She says, I'm so sorry. Your number looks a lot like Andy's. I accidentally saved the wrong number. I hope I didn't upset you. This is the best response for those of you that get spammed like this because it shuts them up right now. Well, I'm only 12 years old. I'll show this to my mom. She'll call you if she needs to. Candace is no longer bothering me.
I'm 12 years old.
Because I've tried the approach that I go across. No, this isn't Annie. This is Stacy. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I'm a lesbian, and then they still go on that tangent. Or I've gone immediately. Married, not interested. Oh, we can just go for coffee. No, married, not interested. Well, we can just do this. I said, okay, can my wife come along and we can have a three-way? And then they tell me I'm gross. But it's like, you're reaching out to me. There's something behind some random chick.
You know, with all the weirdos out there, you're lucky that somebody didn't call your bluff.
Right. This is a scam, right? This is a scam. Okay. And so for the people that think that's legit, it's not. So I always just respond that way. I had somebody the other day the first thing on the text was, "Is this Chris?" And I'm always like, that depends. Because how do you respond to
Yes.
that?
Well, here's
depends.
another public service announcement. If somebody ever calls you on the phone and asks you, "Hey, is this Chris?" They're looking
say-
for you
yeah.
to say yes. They want to
Mhm.
record your voice,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then they will use your voice to go
Yep.
buy shit online. So
Yep.
if
Yep.
you ever do pick up a spam call and it's a yes or no question, answer it
Mhm.
differently. Do not
Yeah.
use the words yes or no.
Why we're on that topic, Zoom
Yes.
right now. There's a scam going on with Zoom, especially in industries where you can connect via Zoom. Like I can call somebody can call me up or email me, "Hey, I want to buy a house. Okay, can I Zoom you?" Great, let's Zoom.
Sure.
What they're doing now is they are screen recording the Zoom call. And what they do, I could totally do this right now. They have a thing called Screen Pal, okay? And I'm pulling up my Screen Pal right now. We'll see how this works.
Okay.
And Screen Pal, I can record the show on my desktop while we're having a show. And what these criminals are doing, it's counting down right now. What these criminals are doing is they're taking me on a Zoom call and they're recording my face, my voice, audio, visual. And because AI is what it is, they're going to now take this and download it to an app. And then all of a sudden they can start using my exact likeness, my exact voice to manipulate other people to think that I'm legit. I'm really helping you, blah, blah, blah. I want you to come along and do whatever it is you want to do with me. So I just recorded, I don't know how many seconds of this. I'll throw this up on the, on our Facebook page so you can check it out. It's pretty crazy, man.
That's
what they're
crazy,
doing.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you
That one I've
if you're
not
in an
heard of. That's a good one.
Right. So if you're in an industry, boys and girls, that people can reach out to you via Zoom, "Hey, I want to Zoom you" type thing, because I do it all the time. People reach out to me all the time wanting to buy a house, and I begin able to. I'm kind of used to seeing the scams, especially when they want to do WhatsApp. Right? Somebody sends me a message. "Oh, I prefer to talk on WhatsApp." Fuck you! I'm not calling you on WhatsApp.
What are they
Not
looking to
happening.
do on that? Because I'm not
They
familiar
want to
with
buy a house.
WhatsApp
They
either.
want to buy a house. I got one. I got one earlier this morning. That.
But what's
that-
the reason for you not wanting to use the WhatsApp feature?
What- because
where are the
WhatsApp-
scammers?
What WhatsApp is it's a secret. It's what the fuck is it? It's shady, right? It's Slim Shady. It's like you can't see. It's firewalled. I don't know how to explain it. Like a super firewall. Like you can't. Nobody can read WhatsApp. You can't read the. It's all secured. Like
Encrypted?
Yeah, there you go. Something to that effect, where you just can't.
Okay.
You're not getting. You're
You
not
don't
going to
really
get
know
all-
who you're talking to.
Right.
Okay.
So when people reach out to me like that, I call bullshit. So I had this guy this morning email Chris, right? "I need property at Arizona, AZ. And I got your contact on Zillow Realty, and I think we can work together. I'd love to get the more details and possibly schedule time to view any on the property you send, and that suits me. And also, could you please share more information and let me know the next steps? Thank you. Hummer Simpson." Okay. Hummer Simpsons, plural. So I sent him this email that basically summarizes the home buying process. Blah, 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 blah. Would today work to set you up on a Google Meet? There it is, right there. Because I asked him certain things. He's like, "Thank you for getting back to me so quickly. I'd really like to schedule time to see property if we find one, because I have none in mind at the moment, which is why I contacted you. Could you let me know what times you're available this week? And before we proceed exchanging documents with my pre-approval, I'd like to have a quick Google Meet call to properly connect and establish that it doesn't need to be long." So right there, that's the scam.
So you get inundated with
Mhm.
real estate fake
Mhm.
scams like
Mhm.
you and I get inundated with. We want to promote your podcast every day, right?
Right. Which
It's
every
the
time
same kind
somebody's-
of scam.
Right. Yep. And every time that somebody says they want to promote the podcast, I say, "Why do we need to promote it? You obviously found us."
Yeah, that's my favorite comeback, dude. When you started doing, the first time I saw that, I shit you not, I laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
I just kept chuckling. I'm like, that's a great comeback.
I'm like, obviously the SEO content works because you found me. Like, you cannot deny that question. You can't. Like, it's impossible. Like,
well, you didn't even elaborate that time. That's what made me laugh so much. The whole statement, ladies and gentlemen, when you saw the email was, you found us, period.
Yeah.
And he left it at that. It was like a mic drop moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's mind-boggling that people actually think we're that stupid. We had another one today in the Christian Mike Show Gmail, another one today, as I was waiting for the artist or the label that was supposed to be on. So if you're members of
I should give her a
DDMG
shout
Music,
out. There's one that comes to me about every quarter, and she's not asking for anything. She does provide a service, but she gives you where you rank for all the keywords. I think her name is Andrea Rossi, if I remember right.
Okay.
But there's no pressure at all. So Andrea, I know her first name's Andrea. Thank you for being professional.
Yeah.
And it is cool to see where you rank for all your different keywords.
It truly is.
Humorous, we're number one, so we must be funny.
Right. I just learned that I can upload from ScreenPal straight to YouTube and shit, kind of like we can with Riverside. We can upload to Riverside, and that's pretty legit. Where the hell is this thing, man? I just recorded it. Where'd it go? Where did it go, man? I lost it, Mike.
That does happen.
Well, I can go back into the program, but I didn't want to go back into the program. I just wanted to.
That's why I download everything to my desktop, and then
it usually downloads to my. It usually does download to my desktop. I don't know why I didn't. Save video.
I'm still that guy too. Just throw it on the desktop. I'll figure out where it goes later.
Yeah. But I want to show you because it's pretty neat how it takes what's on the screen. It's called ScreenPal. It's free.
Okay.
I do a lot of it with work with, when somebody's wanting to learn how to, sign documents or something, I'll do a ScreenPal tutorial. Hey, this is how you do this. You're going to get this and just, go ahead and there it is. Okay. Would you stop ScreenPal? Like, ScreenPal just wants to take over, man. So I'm going to put this. Oh, what? That's not what I meant. Come on, stupid thing. It's hard to multitask. Photo, yes, please. Download.
That's funny you mentioned that word. Yesterday, I just read that they have proven scientifically that, when someone says they're good at multitasking, no one's good at multitasking. It actually lowers your IQ. The more tasks that you add at the same time, your IQ actually drops because your brain has to assign different projects to each individual task that you're doing. See, Chris, ladies and gentlemen, Chris has got so many tasks going on that his brain has literally stopped.
So that I put it on our Facebook page, that little snippet of insight there.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that it definitely can. It's freaky. So don't jump on Zoom calls or Google Meets with people that you don't know. Vet them fully prior to, because And
just for the record, there is no gold in Nigeria.
No, there's not, and there's no Prince of Nubu that needs your money. Okay.
Let me rephrase that. There is gold in Nigeria.
Yeah,
but nobody's trying to give it to you.
No. And Candace is not real. So when you get spammed with women, and for you females, if you get scammed with men, that's the best thing is just to tell them that you're 12 and you're going to give this to your mom, and your mom's going to call. If I could talk like a female, I would totally call that number and act like the mom, and I would have lit Candace up.
Yeah, I can't get my
but I can't call as a father because she's, you're dominant, aren't you?
Hey, baby.
I've been a bad girl. Andy's dad, I've been so naughty. Do you want to spank me, Andy's daddy?
Kind of like on one of the last Beavis and Buttheads, this chick comes strolling up to their house, or she comes cruising up to their house in her car, and she's like, "Can you guys help me find my Airbnb?" Butthead says, If you're looking for B&B, you came to the right place, baby. Beavis and Butthead. That's funny.
Oh shit, that's funny. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Hey, so this is Chris. This is Mike. Chris and Mike show. Thank you for joining us. If you're feeling sad, suicidal, depressed, especially this time of year because it just escalates because it's the holiday season and people start feeling alone or depressed, you're not alone. Find somebody to talk to. If you can't find somebody to talk to, text 988. Somebody's there to talk you off that cliff and make your mind kind of shift to a positive space. You're not alone. People do love you. Somebody will miss you. You will leave a hole in somebody's heart if you leave this world without permission, right? We all need permission, so don't do that.
Poor Chris would only have half a show. If I did
Right.
that.
Or Mike wouldn't even have a show because if I was dead, Mike never would have thought of this. And what would
I
he
would
be
have thought
doing?
of it. I would have never carried through with it.
Right. So there you go. You gotta have the yin and the yang to make the world go round. So you are loved. You will be missed. So it's a crazy time of year. Text 988. It's your friend. Somebody's always there. Somebody's always waiting to help you.
And with that
talk.
said, be nice to
Mhm.
the people that you're out that are working.
Yes.
And because they're stressed out too.
Yeah. You don't know what somebody's going through.
Just be
So,
kind. This is a
just
rough
be
time
kind.
of year. That's a
Yeah, it
very
is.
valid point.
It is. Just open the door for somebody. Smile at people.
Yeah.
When you're walking, like every now and then you're walking
Make eye
around, shit,
contact.
you know, I get kind of, it bothers me when you walk by somebody and their head's down, you
Yeah.
know, and they
And you
walk with
see
their head
that a
down.
lot in the city. That's one thing
Yeah,
that
it's-
changed for me when I moved back to a small
Mhm.
town.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it's just you're inundated with so many people that becomes just kind of your way of life, you know?
Yeah. But
And it
I
does
just,
suck.
you know, there was, this is totally going to relate to this. So there's one thing that a writer on the documentary for the Counting Crows, Have You Seen Me Lately? The difference between grunge and all the grunge music that was out, because like, right, you're watching hair metal and then overnight it's grunge. And then, 3 months
Literally.
later, all of a sudden Counting Crows show up. He's like, when you're watching MTV, you have Trent Reznor doing this, like really, struggling and
Intense.
his head's down and the weight of the world's on his shoulders. And he's like, "Ugh." And then you have Mr. Jones come out, Mr. Jones, I mean, he's up and he's happy and he's bouncing and he's lively and the dreads are going. He's like, it was the complete polar opposite of what we were fed forever. And then here comes Counting Crows, and it's just this lighthearted, I want to be a rock star. And there's nothing you can do to prevent that.
Same reason Hootie and the Blowfish took off during that time.
Right?
Uplifting,
Mhm.
positive. Even if it wasn't positive, it felt uplifting, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go watch the documentary. If you like
I
Counting
will.
Crows, even if you're just a fan of music and the art of making music, it's on HBO Max. Have You Seen Me Lately? It just came out last night. It's about an hour and a half. It's a good watch. It gets slow a little bit. But it's a really good.
Sounds like a good
Doc-
life story, which we love.
Yeah, which it is. It truly is. It's not. It's a little Adam centric because it has to be. Because I didn't realize Adam was Counting Crows.
I didn't either. That's one
just
thing
always-
I learned through
right.
your discussion there.
Yeah, I always thought it was a band because
Me
it
too.
comes across as a band, but it's not. He is the driving force behind that thing. It's just, I don't want to say it's his way or the highway, but there's points in the documentary that the bandmates are like, yeah, like they were going to, like when they got on Rolling Stone, offered to go on Rolling Stone, Adam's like, I didn't want to do it, but how do you say no?
Right.
Like you can't say no to that. They were asked to play the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony when they were nobodies. He's like, who does that? And so they're playing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This was back when it wasn't theater seating, it was tables. Everybody's sitting around tables eating their food and shit.
With the
Nobody
little
stood up.
candle on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you just, dinner and the show. But he's like, how do you say no to that? You can't say no to that. And you can't say no to being on the cover of Rolling Stone. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame got them on SNL, which got them on Rolling Stone, which got them 7 million album sales, 3 years nonstop touring. And the other thing that I didn't talk about, but it has a very good insight to life on the road for a group of men who thought it was going to be 4 months. When they talk about being on the road, it's okay. Like Nikki's like, see, okay, it's okay. But yeah, it's a good show. So check it out. Until next time, boys and girls, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If we don't,
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah,
Have a
I
happy
don't know when this
holidays.
is going to drop. So, but yeah, be kind. Open a door for somebody. Say hi. Smile. You don't know what they're struggling with, so be that person that gives them a little jolt of, sunshine. Thanks for texting, Candace. My mom's going to call you here shortly.
Made for good podcast talk, so we appreciate it.
Yep. Love y'all.
Love you, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
So.
Take a moment.